Hello, fellow hobby nerd. It is I, Solarcross, and this is week 4 in the war on hobby piles. So this video is an update of what I got up to in week 4. Initially, I wanted to paint some tank busters I made in a previous video some time ago for Project Mork. Actually, probably about a year old. They've been sat on the shelf for a year waiting for a paint job. It was quite a nice kit bash, but never got around to painting it. So I thought I'd try to do that this week. But then I had a kind of funny performance anxiety thing. I just couldn't quite bring myself to start painting. It's sort of that blank page inhibition thing. I don't know. So I wasted a couple of days not really doing anything, wanting to paint the tank busters, but not actually painting. And then, so that wasn't very productive. But then I got a little thing in the post. These they look like little plastic rings. And what they are is they are base extenders. And what they do is they make 25mm bases into 32mm bases. Because as you may know, orks have gone up a base size. So back when a lot of my miniatures were first assembled or painted, they were on 25mm, which, to be fair, is a bit small for them, really. And now they tend to be sold on 32mm, and that really shouldn't really matter. I think in narrative games or casual games, it wouldn't matter. Unless your opponent is a complete it wouldn't matter, because it doesn't really change anything. But of course, I do want to do tournaments, and apparently tournaments, I'll just put this up here. Look, special rules there. So the sort of guidance for doing tournaments is that you should extend or rebase vintage models on smaller bases to be on a sort of standard size base for the current edition, which is 32mm for orks. So both knobs and boys are all on 32mm now. And so I've got these little plastic things from eBay. I'll put a link in the description where you can get them to do that. And of course, so that's basically a very nice, easy sort of hobby craft job, which takes time to do. But unlike painting, you don't feel like you have to perform. It's not a sort of high risk thing, I guess. So I got stuck into that. Just rebased all my older orks, especially the ones that were painted already. I didn't do all of them, mind. There's about 20 sluggers I haven't done because I didn't feel like their paint job was all that great, and there's a good chance I won't ever field them in a tournament-y game. Yes, so I just sort of did the others, and what I did, so that's so these ones in my special box, I'll just pull these out. There's about what is there? There is a bunch of knobs and burners and some specially custom crafted shooter boys to look like blood axes using various conversion bits, and also a squad of commando boys. Well, I intended them to be commandos. They are actually mostly old metal, and they don't really fit that well, the new commando unit compositions for today's. So I might have to do a bit of tweaking, build some new models to sort of fill that out. So that was the first hobby job. I put the tank busters and burners and all these other models that need to be on 32mm rounds. Now I did that. I used the base extenders to do that. And the thing with these base extenders, of course, is they go in very nice and easily, but you are left with this edge of the base then. And I suppose you don't have to sort of blend that in with the rest of the base. They actually friction fit quite well, so you don't really need to glue them even. And if you wanted to swap between 32mm for tournaments and 25mm for say more casual games or something like this, that's something you did want to do, you could do that. So you wouldn't actually have to glue them. But I did glue them because I thought, you know what, they actually do look better on 32mm rounds anyway, these old minis. And in casual games, it probably doesn't matter. So it doesn't. So if I might as well just up base them all, and then that's one job I'd never have to do again, presumably. And put down some texture to blend in the base extender with the rest of the base. And while I'm fiddling with bases, I also stuck some magnets on all the ones that I think I might use in tournaments, because that way they can ride in my special box, which we saw just a little earlier. It's clear acrylic, so it kind of works as a display case, but it's also got these metal trays, and so if you put your minis on magnets, so that makes it good for transporting to events or whatever. So I'll put a link in the description where I got the box as well. But anyway, so back to what I did. So then I thought, well, you know, so I did all the magnets. Yeah, I did magnets. And then what did I do? Well, that isn't the minimum amount of time yet for hobby work for the hobby streak. So I ended up kit bashing a few more models, do a couple of conversions. Basically, I had this little metal mech from ages ago at Road Trader, so it's a vintage model. I do like me vintage models, and what I did was I wanted to give him an arm, because originally they had like a plastic arm that you could put on to fix it, fill it, you know, sort of complete the miniatures. It was a sort of a multi-part kind of an idea they had with these older orks. They were metal and monopost, but they were cast without one arm, which could then be put. There was a little sprue of plastic ones, so you could change the weapons they held. This mech is probably going to be the warlord for my dread mob, and in 10th edition rules, he can have a kill saw as an upgrade. So I wanted to give his missing arm, a kill saw. There's a kill saw in the knobs kit, I think it is, probably the current knobs kit, and so I used that. Of course, it's a bit big for him, so I had to do a little bit of shenanigans to get it to fit. Basically, I swapped out the shoulder with a Space Marine, an old Space Marine arm. I think it's a Space Marine, could be maybe Chaos Space Marine, not sure. And then the kill saw sort of fits to that shoulder, and it goes on at the arm. That's him more or less done. I drilled out the gun barrel of his custom Mega Slugger, whatever it is. And also I gave him a boss pole and backpack, just to make him stand out a bit more as a warlord. Of course, boss poles don't really do anything in 10th edition, so it's mostly just decorative. And then what else did I do? I built another burner using some resin parts. I think it was a bit of a waste to use the resin parts. They're kind of cyborgy, because once you've got the burner and his backpack on, it kind of hides the body completely, so you might as well just use any old cheap body. That was a bit of a dumb thing to do, but I did want another burner because I currently have 8 burners, which is enough for 2 squads of burners, because in the current rules, of course, they've gone real strict about how many models you can have in a unit. It used to be you could have anything up to 15 burners, and you really could do it one model at a time, sort of thing. You could have 7, 8, 9, whatever you like. So so now I've got I've got enough for two squads, because each squad has got four burners in. But the commando squad also wants a burner, so I needed 1 extra burner. I probably should have just made a whole bunch more burners, because I've still got loads of bits for doing that, but I didn't. I just made 1. And I also made a painboy that is another vintage model from ages ago. Nice, sort of also missing that arm thing. And in his case, because of course in 10th edition rules, they don't have a lot of options. There used to be, you could stick your painboys on bikes, you could give them different weapons and things. Even though there was no model for it, you could do it, and then you'd have to convert or custom kit bash or whatever to make it happen. But in 10th edition, all those lovely options and upgrades have all disappeared. Now you just got a painboy with no options really, I think, but he does have a claw. He has a power claw, so I thought I'd give my old vintage painboy a power claw. And I've got in my Bex box, I had a whole bunch of these Cromlech resin power claws, so I used one of them, and it's a bit big for him, so sort of hid the shoulder joint, which doesn't really look very great, with some green stuff and a shoulder pad from the knobs kit. Anyway, that's all for this week. Bye for now.